Here's a cube right there.
Yeah, we can start now.
Yeah, we can start now.
I can join you.
Okay.
So this is definitely a very remarkable and powerful film. But just to start out with one general question, like, what is the chance of a film like this in a marketplace which is dominated by films about these kind of guys called superheroes and so on and so forth? So basically, you see a lot of franchise films that you're obviously familiar with, and now you're sort of like trying something completely different. So what kind of chances do you see for this in the marketplace?
I mean, we were very excited by this story. From the moment we read that article in the New Yorker that the film is based on, it was a very eye-opening experience for us in a way, because the events that are happening in Iraq and that region have been so difficult now for so many decades, and a lot of times are hard to access on a human level because they're so politically charged. And that article really broke things open on a very simple human level. And that's what we tried to do with the movie. And I think that's a story that moved us, and it's a story that motivated us. It's a story that we wanted to see and be a part of telling. And I think we have to go on the belief that audiences are going to could potentially have a similar experience of this story.
How did you find the time to squeeze that into your schedule?
Well, we had amazing collaborators we were working with on the film. A lot of very passionate collaborators. So, we've also been multitasking for years as co-directors. So we found a way to tell the story. It was a very important story to tell, and we knew we needed to tell it, so we found the time to do it.
Like being like an American movie in the sense of production value and war movie, like having like the new kid and being the eyes of the, but from a completely different, the other point.
Yeah, I mean, we certainly wanted to make it an international effort because we feel like we all can connect to this story. So that was always our approach to it, and we wanted to do the best version of the story that we possibly could. So we wanted to bring the best talent from all over the world in order to help tell the story, while at the same time grounding it in a really specific Iraqi point of view. So that was the challenge on this. And I think if you look at the mix of people involved in making this movie, it really speaks to that balance, in terms of the sort of global film community coming together to find a way to realize this very Iraqi experience and story.
And of course, the fact that you are, you have like Avengers under your umbrella probably helped to be able to, help telling these kind of stories now. Is that something that you want to do more?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, we leveraged our brand capital from the Avengers into a studio called Agbo, where we did our own capital raise and we have our own financing. And, these are the types of stories that we want to tell. We have a social consciousness. We have anxieties about the world the same way that everyone else does. Media is a very powerful tool, and you can use that tool, especially on a narrative level, to either reinforce stereotypes or to break them. And it's our intention to break them and to tell the story from a perspective of Arab characters, and specifically these Iraqi soldiers who are heroes, and use Western production value to tell that story because they deserve to have the story told.
Yeah, I definitely support your logic in terms of like what moves you could move a lot of other people. At the same time, as you know, everything is like franchise driven. So like with your studio, with your personal company, are you also aiming to get franchise potential movies off the ground, or are you really just focused on exactly these kind of stories that you have, regardless of any considerations?
No, to your point is, look, we've had an amazing experience making these large films that speak to a global audiences on a very large scale. is something. Those are the kind of movies we've always loved in our lives. We've had an amazing experience making those kind of movies, and certainly moving forward, we're going to keep making those kinds of films as well. But we like a diversity of storytelling. You know, like anybody, it's like you don't want only one thing to dominate your process or your experience. So yeah, to be able to shift gears and use the capital that we've generated from making these larger movies. I don't know any other film company that would make this. You know, I feel very lucky that we were in a position where we were able to make a movie like this, and I think it's important for Joe and I to use the success off of other movies to help move things through the system that might not otherwise get made. And I think this is a great example of a movie like that.
Artists with capital are very different than a corporation with capital. We make very different choices than they would make. And there's a reason that a film like this has never been made, because you know, it takes artists being capitalized to a certain extent and having the financial liability to greenlight a movie of this cost and this scale, irrespective of sort of its commercial prospects.
Is it something you easily got used to, that you are in charge of the most successful film of all time?
We haven't gotten used to that. I mean, it's not something that you wake up intending to do, you know, nor is it something you could predict ever to do. And you know, we grew up influenced by James Cameron films. He's one of the great storytellers of the modern era. So I don't know that we'll ever process that fact, but you know, we just, you know, we get up every day to tell stories that move us and that we're compelled to tell, and where they end up on a scale of public acceptance is something that, you know, we don't necessarily chase or can concern ourselves with, because you make bad choices when you chase things that are other than telling the best story that you can.
Has this changed yourself, your way you approach filmmaking?
The experience of making those movies? I don't know. You know, it's interesting. Has it changed it? I mean, I don't know. I think it's just a continuation of an arc that we've been on through our whole careers. You know, Joe and I started as like very, very low budget independent filmmakers. Then we had a phase in television where